I used to be referred to as the morning star, the most brilliant light in heaven, and I was highly esteemed. I am now simply called Lucifer, a term that is spoken in terror. Permit me to touch the mystery. There was just God in the beginning, everlasting and limitless, before time started and the world was created. Heaven, a sanctuary of serenity and beauty, appeared suddenly with his one word. Its golden plains were traversed by rivers of living water, their transparent streams gleaming like glass. Heaven's light, which filled everything with God's grandeur, came directly from him and wasn't caused by the sun or stars. It was in this place where I was born. I was different from the others. God made me the brightest among the innumerable hordes of angels. He referred to me as the morning star, the light bearer, and Lucifer. I was the jewel in the crown of his creation, the first of the angelic hosts. He bestowed upon me a beauty and radiance that were unparalleled. My voice sounded like a symphony of angelic harps, and my face gleamed like the morning, reflecting his beauty in my shape. No angel could compare to me in grace, strength, or intelligence. God therefore gave me a mission that was commensurate with my beauty. I was the leader of the choirs in heaven and the conductor of worship there. I was passionate about the job he gave me, and I gave it my all to the best of my ability. Through my commitment, I aimed to glorify him and express my appreciation for being created in such a spectacular and unique way. With every action I took, I was giving back to the one who created me. I never wanted more in those early days. I coexisted peacefully with my fellow angels. Innumerable angels were present, too many to count. Nevertheless, we were all united by the same love in spite of our differences. In the great scheme of the Almighty, we moved as one, accomplishing our mission. My heart was devoid of pride, ambition, and self-consciousness. We sung real and pure melodies that came from the core of who we were. Every song paid homage to the one who made us from nothing. However, things started to shift with time. I could feel the weight of what I had been given, even in heaven's perfection. It was only a dim concept at first, but it developed. I gradually came to feel that I was superior than the one who made me. Why must all glory belong to him? I asked myself. With my intelligence and flawless beauty, I was the epitome of perfection. My voice commanded the choirs of heaven itself, and my radiance outshone all the angels. Nevertheless, I was forced to serve, kneel, and think, to never shine for me. I was able to ignore such ideas when they initially came to me, began to question more and more. Why should I always be beneath him? In the shadow of his throne, why should my greatness remain hidden? The idea became louder and bolder. My heart's whisper turned into a thundering conviction, and I started to perceive heaven as a cage that prevented me from seeing how amazing I truly was. I believed that I deserved more, that I was destined for more. I started to think of myself as God's equal, if not superior, rather than as his servant. I thought I could govern more effectively than the one who created me. It was an exciting concept. I pictured myself on a throne that was superior than his. I imagined that every one of heaven's hosts turned to worship me. They would bend to me and chant my praises. I was destined for the throne, and I would do whatever it took to get it. That is pride's curse. It makes you believe that you are superior than the person who bestowed your light, and that it is your own. I can readily see today that pride is a slow poison. It starts out lovely and quite undetectable, but it spreads swiftly and twists everything it comes into contact with. It distorts the truth and makes you blind. I lost sight of heaven's splendor. All I wanted was more, and all I could see was myself. I was certain that I would ascend to heaven and establish my palace above the stars of God. However, I was unaware at the time that my ideas were the first step toward my downfall. So, I had a plan before I rebelled. My heart's murmurs became action, and the action began with words. I was aware that I needed help if I wanted to threaten God's throne. Heaven has many hosts and was very large. I would require allies, angels of authority and power, those who were as unhappy as I was, or who might be convinced to agree with me. I started off having cautious, subdued discussions. I went to the angels who ruled over heavenly worlds. The people I knew had the most authority and influence. I started by posing straightforward queries, sowing skepticism. Have you ever pondered why we are obligated to serve despite our greatness? Why must our light never shine for itself, but constantly reflect His? Their responses differed. Some, whose devotion to the Creator remained unwavering, rejected the notion right away. Others, however, paused. They paid attention. They thought about it. I noticed a glimmer of something in their eyes, a sense of wonder and self-awareness. That's what I went after. I talked of freedom, describing a new heaven in which we, the strongest and most intelligent people, would no longer submit to anyone. They listened more, the more I said. I played on their pride and self-esteem. I reminded them of their greatness, their intelligence, and their unparalleled creative power. And thrones started to regard themselves as future rulers rather than servants. As we conversed, I noticed a fire igniting in their eyes that matched mine. They started to wonder and dream of a heaven where His light would no longer overshadow theirs. My words became more daring as my fan base grew. I publicly discussed a new order, a kingdom in which we would sit on our own thrones. And soon after, the whispers turned into action. The angels redirected their voices toward me after they had previously sung in perfect unison with the Creator's will. Their loyalty changed from God's throne to the vision I presented. With their wings ready for combat and their souls blazing with ambition, a third of heaven's host joined my cause. They were angels of immense beauty, strength, and wisdom. We got ready for the future in secrecy. Our uprising would be a battle, not a peaceful act of dissension. Both they and I were aware of the expense, but the potential rewards exceeded the danger. I put them in ranks, designating leaders to manage the burgeoning armies of angels who had joined my cause.